Lisa's outfit from BLACKPINK's recent Chicago show has turned into a hot topic online, with netizens debating whether her shorts were too short or too inappropriate. The group is currently on their deadline tour, and one fan photo from the concert, taken while the members were facing away from the crowd, showed that their outfits were all different lengths, with Lisa's being the shortest. Many fans couldn't stop complimenting her look, praising her physique, and how perfectly the outfit suited her. Others, however, focused entirely on the length of her shorts. Their concern wasn't about whether she was comfortable or able to perform in them, but rather that it was supposedly a little embarrassing for Koreans. Another user wrote, "I know BLACKPINK and especially Lisa are about that Western life, but this is too much. She might as well not be wearing anything when more than 50% of her behind is going to be visible. Still, Lisa is a grown woman fully capable of choosing what she wears, and if she felt confident and comfortable in those shorts, it shouldn't be anyone else's issue." BoyNextDoor have been facing backlash over how they handled the meet and greet at their recent shows. The group ended their Knock On Volume 1 tour with a final concert in Seoul on July 27th, but most of the complaints trace back to their July 25th performance. Fans who paid an extra $30 for the meet and greet shared videos on Twitter showing the members quickly walking by, briefly touching fans' hands, saying a quick hello before they moved on. For many, it felt like anything but an actual meet and greet. An angry fan who was present went on Twitter and wrote, "I've never seen a meet and greet like BoyNextDoor's in my life. They just walked past everyone. They seriously made us wait forever, then just said hello and walked past." One fan shared that they didn't hold the members responsible, believing the blame lay with the company and event organizers. Still, they admitted feeling deeply let down, especially since they had gone as far as removing their IV and leaving the hospital just to be there. Online, however, many disagreed, arguing that the members themselves came across as indifferent. Even if the setup wasn't their fault, netizens said they could have at least slowed down and made the moment feel more meaningful. One user shared their thoughts, saying, "They could have at least pretended to walk sideways facing toward the fans, but they just looked straight ahead and rushed through at full speed." So far, neither the group nor their company has addressed the situation or released any kind of statement. aespa fans are convinced that Giselle is being deliberately sidelined by her company, and they think she's finally hinting at it herself. On July 21st, she shared a series of photos on Instagram, including landscapes, memes, a gym selfie with Ning Ning, and various screenshots. But what really caught everyone's eye was one specific screenshot, a Naver search for a Korean idiom that translates to a duck's egg on the Nakdong River, meaning someone who is excluded or left out. For a while now, fans have been vocal about how poorly Giselle is treated compared to the rest of the group. They've accused SM Entertainment of disrespecting her through bad styling choices, lack of solo promotions, leaving her out of social media posts, and even giving her less prominent positions in choreography. Some have even gone as far as calling the company's behavior toward her xenophobic, and looking at everything that's happening, many have agreed that this has been the case. So when Giselle posted that search term, many interpreted it as her way of quietly acknowledging what fans have been saying all along, which is that she feels pushed aside and excluded. A fan of hers wrote, "The mistreatment and mishandling is so messed up that she needs to post something like this. No one deserves to be treated or feel like this." Some people, however, think the whole thing is being exaggerated. They suggested that Giselle might have simply come across the phrase, didn't know what it meant, and looked it up, or that it could even be a subtle teaser for aespa's next comeback. Still, with no official word from Giselle herself, it's understandable why so many fans remain worried about her. Jaejoong has spoken up about the criticism he received for his remarks on Boys 2 Planet, but his response only fueled the backlash. On the show's second episode, Chinese boy group Boy Story members Hee Shin-long, Jia Han-yu, and Lee Zi-hao performed Stray Kids Backdoor, earning huge praise from viewers. Fans called it one of the best stages so far, and even Stray Kids Hyunjin and Changbin personally complimented their cover. The judges, however, had a very different take. Instead of focusing on the performance, they zeroed in on the members' visuals and weight. Jaejoong told them, "I felt your old age through both your performance and your visuals. I think that this should not be the case." Fellow judge Baek Gu-young echoed his thoughts, claiming their age showed in their lack of energy and suggesting they tidy up their physiques to improve. As the members were leaving the stage, Jaejoong chimed in again, singling out Hanyu and telling him to lose weight. Unsurprisingly, viewers and supporters of the trainees were outraged by Jaejoong's remarks. International fans especially criticized his words, saying that while visuals do play a role in K-pop, there's a clear difference between acknowledging that and making the kind of comments he did. Many also pointed out that the trainees weren't unattractive and were already in great shape, making his statements come across as unnecessary nitpicking and downright mean-spirited. A Twitter user said, "Jaejoong is so weird. Just because you went through hell doesn't mean you have to make others go through it." Another viewer argued that if Jaejoong couldn't express his thoughts without sounding insulting, like the choreographer on the show managed to do, then he probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. They suggested the producers were likely aiming for dramatic attention-grabbing moments, but to everyone watching, Jaejoong simply came across as rude and unlikable. Even Korean netizens, who often lean toward agreeing with blunt critiques, called him out for crossing a line. Many felt his comments were unnecessarily harsh, especially on a public broadcast. One pointed out that if he truly meant his words in good faith, he could have said them privately instead of embarrassing the trainees in front of the cameras. A user wrote, "He's being realistic, but this isn't for broadcast. They should have edited that out." Some fans defended Jaejoong, with one saying he wasn't the one who originally brought up the trainees' weight, but since he is the chief master, they argued, he was just summarizing the judge's overall feedback, not making the call himself. Regarding the moment when Jaejoong told Hanyu to lose weight, the fan described it as a tough but caring piece of advice from a senior to a junior. They explained that while it sounded harsh, it wasn't meant as visual or body shaming, but was focused on Hanyu's flexibility during choreography, which is something idols are often called out for. Fans also pointed out that looks and weight do matter in the idol world, and idols get judged for them, so some wondered why Jaejoong was seen as malicious for speaking openly about it. Still, these defenses didn't convince everyone, and many felt the comments came off as hurtful and unnecessary. After the backlash, Jaejoong addressed the situation in several statements. On July 27th, he went live on Weverse and explained his thoughts. He said he believed most of the contestants were already top-level performers, but since about 10% showed exceptional potential, even small changes in their appearance could boost their stage presence and help them stand out. He emphasized that his comments weren't about looks alone, but about making a stronger impression on stage. Jaejoong added that his remarks were meant as reminders, and he had spoken directly with the trainee involved who understood his intentions. He also pointed out that the clips being shared were edited and might not show the full context. Behind the scenes, he said he had honest conversations with the trainees, where they understood each other's motives. To show his support, Jaejoong revealed he gave Korean language textbooks to the contestants, wanting to help them improve and shine as someone who had been watching their progress closely. Later, Jaejoong replied to a fan's comment on Instagram, apologizing and clarifying that he never meant to criticize anyone's appearance. He blamed the way the show was edited for how his words were perceived. He also explained that the topic of dieting only came up because the trainee had brought it up first. He went on to write, "It wasn't meant to be hurtful, it was not said to shame him, but rather to encourage him to show an even better performance during evaluations." Jaejoong explained that even a small physical change from dieting could make a big impact on stage, and he mentioned it, hoping to help the trainees improve. He emphasized that he supports all the participants and wants to see them grow, offering honest, constructive advice as someone who has followed their journey from the start. He also pointed out that the show's editing didn't capture everything, and behind the scenes, they had meaningful talks built on mutual respect. Jaejoong acknowledged that some fans and viewers might have felt uncomfortable and sincerely apologized for that. He asked people not to judge the situation based only on the edited clips, expressing how much he understands and supports the trainees and wants to help them see the true value of their dreams. Though Jaejoong's comment was eventually deleted, his apologies and explanations didn't change the minds of many critics. They dismissed his claims that the show's editing distorted his words, feeling those excuses didn't hold up or justify what he said. One Reddit user commented, "I think he is doing damage control. They can't evil edit something that comes directly out of your mouth." Some people pointed out that through the Weverse Live, Jaejoong admitted to holding private meetings with certain trainees and allegedly adjusting their scores to create a growth story, which they believe was arranged with the trainees' agency, raising questions about fairness to the other participants. Others pointed out that at least one trainee affected by the weight comments was already trying to lose weight before being eliminated, showing that the issue clearly impacted them and wasn't just a result of editing. Even those who think Jaejoong didn't intend harm and that the editing may have taken things out of context agree that his comments were unprofessional. What do you think? Was his feedback helpful advice or simply body shaming? Share your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching.